I think we can all agree the way big tech companies gather, manipulate, and sell Americans' personal data, all without consequence, is alarming. These are the same companies that censor free speech, pick and choose which viewpoints are allowed on their platform, remove a United States president, but allow murderous foreign dictators on their platforms. For example, recent reporting has shown that Instagram's algorithms has recommended content to teens related to illegal drugs. Anybody with children or grandchildren, that should be alarming. We have to find a way to hold these companies accountable for failing to protect the rights and privacy of all Americans. I've introduced the Data Act, which will require large online platforms with over 30 million daily users to obtain user-expressed consent to collect their data and preference used in algorithm, and provide Americans the ability for a private right of action if they believe their privacy is violated. So my first question is for Mr. Poulos. I understand that these algorithms are designed to pull users back into the platform, pushing and prodding until the user engages again. It's not hard to see how that could cause someone to develop an attachment to these platforms and feel they can't escape. Do you believe that this is how these platforms are functioning? If so, what does that mean for users, especially young people and young girls?
Thank you, Senator. Human beings are imitative creatures, above all. We are disputatious, we are jealous, we are envious, we are prideful, we are, in short, problematic. And social media gives human beings the ability to accelerate relationships and exchanges that involve, all of the sins and foibles of human nature, in a way that does, at its worst, create a kind of feedback loop. And I think, it's undeniable that when you look at the way that mental illness is increasing in America, especially among young people, the way that, frankly, just bizarre and even barbaric forms of self-modification are spreading. I mean, there are now even groups on social media where young people are ceasing to identify as individuals altogether and now identify themselves as members of a swarm. In some ways, I think this is clearly an effort to imitate our digital entities themselves in an effort to fit in this new world. So we need to recognize that the digital revolution is sweeping and deep and profound, and it's not going away, but that doesn't mean that we should either surrender ourselves to the rule of these entities, or err in the opposite direction, which is to take an approach that thinks that the federal government can simply take control of the whole system and use it to really just take a side on the culture war and decide that Americans have to either get with the program or be systematically silenced or punished. And that's the power of a social credit system. For all the flaws that social media has, speaking as a parent, you can go on there and you can see all manner of memes and amateur commentary from young people who clearly understand what China is doing. There are plenty of memes out there about how, John Cena's social credit score has gone to negative infinity because he said the wrong thing about China. Ordinary Americans can't quite explain what's going on behind the scenes, but I think that they're aware that they're being forced in a direction that is incompatible with our way of life. And so as we look toward algorithms, as we look toward the social media ecosystem, what we need to do is find the areas where there is broad-based popular and within government support for specifying exactly what harm is. I think there's a lot of disagreement right now, regardless of identity. You just look at polling that shows that Hispanics are split on whether Donald Trump should be elected president again. Gay men. I mean, regardless of identity, there are deep-seated cultural differences among Americans, and so there's not going to be an easy way to say, well, this is problematic. It should be suppressed. This is extremist. It should be suppressed. There isn't enough agreement, and so we got to focus on really the most severe harms, start there, build trust as a government that the people are actually going to be able to preserve their human identity and their community identities online.
Mr. Poulos, other than to make money, is there any reason for big tech to have these algorithms? Is there any user-focused reason that these are important or are helpful to a user?
Thanks, Senator. Yeah, I mean, I would emphasize again that Stephen Wolfram was testifying on the Hill recently, and basically the point that he made was You can't have digital technology that interfaces with human beings without having, in some way, sort of algorithms that have a purpose and that direct people in one way or another based on their own what the technology is able to identify as their own preferences or leanings. And there's value in that. You know, and consumers, customers have clearly expressed a preference for being delivered ads that they're inclined to be interested in, rather than things that they're not inclined to be interested in. I know that there's an appreciation for, you know, why can't we go back to the days when it was just a chronological feed of our friends' posts? Well, you know, sometimes that ends up being a better user experience, and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, there are commonsensical reasons why the sort of algorithms have emerged in the way that they have. And I think that one source of frustration is, you know, sometimes we get in the habit of taking an outcome-based measure of judgment, where, you know, oh, well, it looks like something's happening to people that, you know, we associate with some kind of injustice, and so therefore whatever was going on in the black box has to automatically be bad, and we need to open the lid and just punish whatever's in there because we're focused on outcomes. And I don't think that's the right way to do it. I mean, you know, with all due respect to Senator Markey, I think his claim that, you know, young white men rule the internet would fall flat among the many, you know, H-1B visa holders who are explicitly brought into this country and privileged as applicants so that they can build the technological infrastructure of online life.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Scott, the